Hello all. Continuing with slope. More about slopes. So this is 9.3. You go to page 133. 133. This is what we're going to use for it. If you want to put it in your notebook as well, we're really not doing anything differently as far as finding the slope. If it's on a graph and you want to find the slope, well, you just need to pick 2 points. Before, you were just given like, here's a point, and find the slope between them. Now what we're going to look at with it is you now have this line you have to find the slope between. So I may pick, these 2 points, and I can do 5 minus 4 for the y's. Remember, it's always change in y over change in x is 4 minus 2. You get 1 over 2. Now, because a slope has what we call a constant rate of change, or a line, not a slope, sorry. It's a constant rate of change, meaning the line doesn't start here, then go this way, then here, then this way, and it doesn't keep changing around. Then we know that whatever 2 points you pick, it's going to have the same slope. So, for example, if I went here, this is the same line. I may have chosen these 2 points and gone 8 minus 7 over 10 minus 8, and I get the same answer, 1 over 2. So it doesn't matter what 2 points you pick, you're still going to get the same slope. Okay. Now, there's one with a table, so I'm going to actually 134 and number 4 towards the bottom here. And here's ones where they don't give those points in there. So we have to figure them out ourselves. So I'm going to look and say, okay, where does it cross the grid marks? And here's one point that it does. And I'm going to go along, and it looks like here is another point that it does. Now, there's a couple ways we could really do this. We can write these points out and say, okay, this is at 0 and 3. This point here we have at 4 for the x and 4 for the y. And I could do what we've been doing with our equation. Subtract the y's. So in this, I'm going to go right to left here. So 4 minus 3 over 4 minus 0, I get 1/4. That's one way to do it. Another way is we can actually count it out as rise over run. So I could say, all right, I'm here. To get to this point, I go up 1 and right 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I could just write out that the slope is 1 over 4. So you're still doing the same thing. You're going from one point to the next. You're just actually counting them out instead of writing down the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, excuse me. So same idea with this one. I could say, all right, here's a point that it crosses, and it looks like here's another point that it crosses. So instead of going and saying this is 0, negative 2, this is 1, 0, I could say, all right, I went up 1, 2, and my run is 1. Now, this is one we didn't see yesterday, but anytime we have 2 over 1, even though slope is rise over run, we're still going to simplify that as just a whole number, not just 2 over 1, anything over 1. We're going to say the slope is 2, because eventually we're going to start writing out things in slope-intercept form. This one then would be y equals 2x minus 2. Don't have to worry about that right now, but we don't write 2 over 1x minus 2. So we will write that the slope there would just be a 2. Okay. Now, with 5a, so this is on page 135, we have slopes here that we also see now are going the other direction. So we could do this same process. I'm going to do the middle one. This jumped out at me that at 0, 4 I have a point, and I'm going to go to here at 2, 0. So I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. Now be careful, if I'm saying I went down, that's negative 4. And then I went to the right 2, that's positive 2. So negative 4 over 2 would actually simplify to be negative 2. Okay? So it's the same process. If you wanted to do it here and say this is 0, 4, and this is 2, 0, you can go 4 minus 0 over, in this case, 0 minus 2 gives you 4 over negative 2. It still simplifies to negative 2. So on the graph, you could write the 2 points and do the work, or you can count them out, but there's still work. You still got to write what the rise over the run was and simplify it. Okay. Now, what about these special case scenarios? Meaning a completely horizontal, they mention it in B, or we'll see a vertical line. So in a horizontal line, let's just pick 2 points. I'm going to do this middle one again and say, all right, I went from here to here. Well, what's my rise? I didn't. My rise is 0. My run is whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this case, I said it's 4, but 0 divided by anything is 0. Here, same thing. I could go up 0 over 1, up 0 over 1. My slope is 0. So what is the slope of a horizontal line? It is always 0. Always 0. Now, a vertical line, let's look at that one here. So if I just pick 2 points and said, all right, from here to here, I went down 1, 2, 3, 4. So a run of -4, or a rise, sorry, of -4. In a run, I don't go anywhere left or right. So my run is 0. Now, a lot of people jump and say, oh, that's 0. You cannot divide by 0. Try it on your calculator. Go ahead. I'll let you do it. You can pause. But if you divide by 0, it says that it cannot be done. There's an error. It says error/divide by 0. You cannot divide by 0. So what we say then is this has an undefined or no slope. And think about it. If I could take 0 things and divide it into 4 by 4 people. 0 divided by 4. There's still 0 things to give out. But if I have 4 things and I divide it by 0 people, that doesn't make sense. I could have 4 things and I divide it once. 4 divided by 1 is just 4. I get all 4 of them. I could have 4 things and I divide it by 2 people. I split that into 2 and 2, so you'd add 4 divided by 2 is 2. But you can't divide something by 0. So that's why we say it's undefined or no slope. Okay? So that's the slope of a vertical line. So when we look at things, what they're trying to get us to think about here as well is we have 4 types of slope basically. A positive slope would be a line that is going up from left to right. A negative slope is a line that is going down from left to right. Okay. A 0 slope is a completely horizontal line. And then no slope or undefined slope is a completely vertical line. So those are the 4 kinds of slopes. There's 4 kinds of slopes that we can have. So the how to find slope doesn't change. You could pick 2 points, you can count them out. But it's now we're recognizing you could have slopes that are positive. They go up from left to right. Slopes that are negative, down from left to right. Horizontal slopes, we would say, are 0. And then no slope is a vertical line completely. Okay, so those are the 4 kinds of slopes. We can find them using a graph now. Just a little bit more adding on to slope, and we'll continue to do that for the rest of our time with slope. Nice job. See you next time.